Hi, I'm Nurse Mary Jo. I've been a nurse for over 50 years. I lost more than 100 pounds as a postmenopausal woman and reversed all chronic disease in my life. I love this newfound freedom and energy to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I thought that this could be part two of greens associated with G bombs. So, really, it's supposed to be a relatively quick examination of how to use greens and cruciferous vegetables in meals. Now, let's look at breakfast. Oftentimes, breakfast might be something more related to intact grains or fruit, which is great because insulin resistance is low first thing in the morning, and so it's a great time to imbibe in that type of food. However, there is one way I like to incorporate greens into my breakfast. It's very easy, and another way that's a little bit more time consuming. I don't unfortunately have any collard greens to show you. I do have dinosaur kale, and I suppose you could do this with dinosaur kale. You could take one of these leaves, because the way they curl, you could probably use that if you wanted to. But I love taking these collard greens, and there's a thick stem and these two green halves. So you wash it off, clean it, you take one half of the leaf off and then the other half of the leaf off. Now, sometimes they're big enough that I will use one of those halves to create this. And sometimes I'll take a couple of them and put them kind of part way over each other, because I'm going to put some fruit in the middle and I'm going to wrap it up, and I would like it to kind of stay contained within my collard wrap. So this comes from drfurman.com. You can put some cashew butter, almond butter. I make a homemade peanut butter. I also make a chocolate hummus. And any of that, they all have some form of a nut or seed in them. You could put a little bit on the leaf. You don't want to go too generous depending upon your caloric needs. And then you could slice up a few bananas. You could slice up a few apples. You could throw some cinnamon or vanilla on it. Or if there's another seasoning you can think of, because seasoning and herbs are delightful to the palate and also increase the nutrient density of what you're choosing to eat. I like to add a few berries if possible, and then I roll it all up and I get this really nice green roll, okay? And I just eat it. Now, to me, that's quick and easy. Some people might not like that thickness or texture of the collards. If it bothers you, if you had some boiling water and just barely steam it and take it out, then it's a lot softer and more pliable, and you might enjoy it more. But the more I do this, the more I love these foods. I know that's crazy, but I do. I absolutely love them. Now, a second breakfast I can think of is make some plain oatmeal, and then I like to steam some greens and other vegetables, and then I will put into my oatmeal turmeric, sometimes when I'm wild, a little miso, but not very much. Miso has a lot of sodium in it. And then I just like to go crazy with whatever seasonings really tantalize my taste buds that day. And I like to top it off with a little nutritional yeast, stir it all up, and then throw in my veggies. And it's a savory type of oatmeal with vegetables. I absolutely adore that. Anyway, so what do I do for lunch? Well, here's an example of a lunch. Sorry, I gotta reach across the table to find it. Let's see, where can I put it? Yes, this is a good place to put it. I don't know if you can see what's in there, but today I have some lettuces, some spring mix, if you will. I have a lot of arugula. I have a lot of red cabbage. I have a few of those micronutrient little thingamabobbers to put on top. Red cabbage, red onion. It has wonderful quercetin in it. I have, where is it? Here it is. I have some green onion. Now, what I love about green onion is you have the onion and you have additional greens isn't that fabulous? You know, those greens are so great producing antioxidants, and you've got more. In this particular salad, I have broccoli. I don't have any cauliflower today, but I would put that in if I had it. Sometimes I throw in zucchinis or yellow squash. You can see that I have some different tomatoes in there as well. Sometimes I have some red pepper or yellow pepper or orange pepper that I'll put in, and hiding out in there somewhere are at least 2 carrots. Now, I believe in utilizing beans, but that really is a conversation for another day. But so that you know, I seem to have lost my edamame. I have a few pieces of edamame in there. I actually have more than a few. And I also put in some what I call chickpea salad. And it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. When I talk about beans, I'll have to revisit it and give you the recipe for that. Also, I put vinegar. Now today I have lemon basil vinegar on here. Some days I have a lovely vinegar shop I frequent, and they have jalapeno lime vinegar, they have cucumber melon vinegar, and these particular vinegars really tantalize my taste buds, and I'll put them on my salads. Now, I have cruciferous vegetables and dark leafy greens on that salad, and to absorb all of the fat-soluble nutrients, I need some sort of a fat to add to my salad. Notice, I only use vinegar, no oil. Oil is 120 calories per tablespoon, 14% saturated fat in extra virgin olive oil, and it has no fiber, and it usually causes people to get hungrier. I don't understand why I would want to use it. It's like fatty acids that need no real digestion and just slap themselves on your body. No, thank you. I don't see the reason for that. So I'll put some vinegar on. Now I will either add like pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds or sunflower seeds, chia seeds or hemp seeds, maybe a couple pistachio nuts, or I may choose to create a nut-based dressing. Today is hemp seeds, cashews, silken tofu, and I know I put turmeric in it. I put lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and I believe apple cider vinegar. And then seasonings, whatever seasonings I want to. Sometimes add a little black pepper to it. And it also includes, and what I have in my house at this point in time is unsweetened soy milk. And I have an unsweetened soy milk with no additives to it. I have found you have to really look, and I've only found this at Whole Foods. I found a couple of products, whether it's almond milk or soy milk or similar to that, that has no additives or preservatives in it. Sometimes they're a little bit more expensive, but I prefer to buy that. A lot of these types of products have added folic acid. Now, if you're deficient in folate, and then it's probably better than nothing, question mark, because folate taken into the body in food prevents cancer, repairs DNA, encourages an antioxidant response. However, if you ingest folic acid, that actually has an increased risk of cancer because it encourages cellular proliferation, and it's not too concerned which type of cell proliferates. So if you have a cancer cell in your body, it could become a tumor. A tumor could become metastasis. There is definitely a link between folic acid and breast cancer and prostate cancer. So just do with that as you will. Anyway, so there's either a nut seed based dressing or vinegar with perhaps a few nuts and seeds on it as well. I don't over imbibe in nuts and seeds because I'm 72 years old. I only need so many calories. Now, you might be 22 years old. You need a whole lot more food than the type of dietary plan I would have for myself. You maybe need a whole lot of more nuts and seeds somehow in your dietary portfolio. So the nuts and seeds is discussed only in terms of helping the body absorb all of the fat-soluble vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. Also, some avocado would do the same thing if you prefer no nuts and seeds or possibly have some allergic concerns associated with that. Okay, so that's a kind of like my standard lunch, if you will. Dinner. Dinner, there's so many different things you can do, creating soups and stews and casseroles. I just feel like the best thing I could tell you is go to drfurman.com, become the lowest level member so you have access to all these recipes. Now, here's one thing that I find helpful. Sometimes I have kale, sometimes I have collards, sometimes I have more bok choy. You know, I might have Swiss chard, I might have watercress. So whatever of these green veggies I have, I will put into a recipe in the event that I don't have what it's specifically called for. Like, I love this casserole that is kale, artichokes, it does have broccoli in it and mushrooms, and then it calls for kale. Well, if I just have collards on hand, I'll mush up some collards and put them in there. So you can, the fact that the recipe calls for mustard greens and you have kale, use the kale. It all is going to work out fine. However, it is a good idea when enjoying greens that you don't just eat kale and that's it. All of the food on this planet is beautiful and wonderful, and everything has a little something in it that helps preserve the plant that could be in too great a quantity diminish our survival. So, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with kale. There isn't. But you want to eat some bok choy, some kale, some lettuces, some broccoli, some cauliflower. You want to enjoy a diversity of these different types of wonderful vegetables. So I thought I'd talk to you about dinner tonight. So this is dinner tonight. Look at this. Shaved Brussels sprouts. Really easy. I'm going to throw these shaved Brussels sprouts into a pan, and the actual recipe calls for this and pinto beans, and that's it. And then you put seasoning on it. The recipe itself discuss putting on a taco seasoning. Now, I don't use taco seasoning from the grocery store, but if you look online, you can find quite a number of different taco seasoning recipes, and you can even find one on, yes, my friend and yours, drfurman.com. However, I would like to add a little bit more fun to this, so tonight I'm going to put this in a pan. I'm going to put some green and red onion into that pan. I'm going to throw in a couple bags of, now this is so easy, nothing to slice or wash or dice. These are mixed mushrooms, and they contain cremini, white, and shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to throw a couple bags of this in there, and I'm going to cut up what I have left of my dinosaur kale and put that in there as well with some seasoning. And that's going to make just a bountiful meal. Now, you can take corn shells and wrap it up in corn shells. You can put it on Ezekiel pita pockets. I've even put in some sweet potatoes and topped off sweet potatoes with this kind of vegetable group, comté, whatever mixture of vegetables. So you can just have a lot of fun with it. You can add nutritional yeast to it if you want, but you don't have to. Sometimes it gives it a little bit of a cheesy taste for those of you that would prefer that. Anyway, now let's talk dessert. Oftentimes I'll do, like I told you before, my dark sweet cherries, some non-dairy unsweetened milk. I personally prefer unsweetened cocoa powder, and zap that together, but have enough frozen cherries in it that it's more like an ice cream. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you do change the food matrix. The food matrix, when you chew it in your mouth instead of a machine and you swallow it, seems to degrade differently. And so when you change the food matrix before before you eat it. Sometimes you can have a higher glycemic effect. Sometimes when I make either banana and ice cream with bananas, whatever flavor I want, and my non-dairy milk, sometimes with either of these recipes, I might add some, yes, look at this. One of my favorite cruciferous vegetables, it's bok choy. I love this stuff. It's very light, delicious on the palate. And look at this, guys. See, some of these leaves here, you can use that for hummus dip or something like that if you would prefer. So you can use this on your savory oatmeal. You could use this to put some cashew butter and berries on for your breakfast. You could chop it up for your salad for lunch. You can create a stir fry with this and other veggies. It's just very, very versatile. And because of its mild taste, you could throw it into, banana creams or whatever you wanted to. Also, I have a dessert where I take frozen cherries, frozen blueberries, unsweetened chocolate, and my soy unflavored, it's actually vanilla flavored, but it's unsweetened soy milk. And I put spinach in that, or I put bok choy, or lettuces. And what I'm trying to do is make like an ice cream dessert, which is very delicious, but I have those vegetables in there and that extra fiber to improve my health and well-being. So I hope that gives you some ideas. You'll have to let me know if you like any of them or if you would like some more. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, you are so important to all of us. Please take great care of yourself. And for now, goodbye from Nurse Mary Jo.